Are you serious? Are you serious? The United Nations voted overwhelmingly against Israel to try to force a ceasefire, overtaking basically the entire sovereignty of Israel as a nation. And who were the only 10 nations who stood with Israel? Let me tell you all about that in just a second. But first, put a quick shout out, if I can, for www.thehealthyfat.com/Paul. That's thehealthyfat.com/Paul. Folks, it turns out that the key to losing weight and keeping it off is not in carbs or fat or even in probiotic rich foods. No, the end game is having healthy weight as well as more energy, and long, healthy life comes down to one specific switch you can flip in your body to flush out those unnecessary calories. Dr. Stephen Gundry is calling this the caloric bypass. That's right, the caloric bypass. And by activating this specific process in your body, he has seen thousands of people dramatically improve their health, even at age 50 and even beyond. Matter of fact, this includes losing weight, getting tons of more energy, returning to the good health they had in their youth once they simply address this one key to better health. Not only that, but this is actually associated with improved digestion, strong feeling of joints and muscles, smoother skin, and a healthier life, meaning it could be the key to a happier life. Dr. Stephen Gundry has lost 70 pounds himself by using this research and has kept the weight off for over 20 years and counting. His digestive issues are gone. His health is fantastic, and he feels younger and healthier today than he did in his 40s. The video I have right below, I have it posted in the description. The video has been watched by more than 20 million people to date, and you can watch and learn more about it at thehealthyfat.com/Paul. That's thehealthyfat.com/Paul. It is linked at the bottom of this video. Just click it, go watch it. It's a free video. Go watch it and understand the keys, folks, the keys to a happier life. All right, let me tell you what's going on at the United Nations. By a vote of 153 to 10, with 23 nations abstaining to vote, the resolution is passed by this large majority, securing the needed 2/3 of the members. Widespread applause rings out around the General Assembly Hall of the United Nations. Those 10 nations who voted no to a forced ceasefire mandated by the world, only 10 nations stood with Israel. United States of America, Israel itself, Austria, Chechnya, Guatemala, Liberia, Micronesia, Nauru, Papua New Guinea, and Paraguay. That's it. 9 nations standing with Israel. That makes 10. I asked that question before the vote. I said, will there be at least 10 nations? Can we find 10 nations that would stand with Israel? Well, we found 9 plus Israel. This is sad. But who are the people who just abstained? Which to me, abstaining is, might as well say you're with them, was the United Kingdom and Germany and Hungary and Italy and Argentina and Malawi and the Netherlands and Ukraine and South Sudan and Uruguay and others. Matter of fact, the General Assembly, guided by the purposes and principles of the Charter of the United Nations, basically said this. They voted to force a mandated ceasefire on Israel in its conflict right now with Hamas. Number 1, demand an immediate humanitarian ceasefire. Number 2, reiterated its demand that all parties comply with their obligations under international law, including international humanitarian law, notably with regard to the protection of the Palestinian civilians. Number 3, demands that the immediate and unconditional release of all hostages, as well as ensuring humanitarian access. Number 4, decides to adjourn the 10th emergency special session temporarily and to authorize the president of the General Assembly, which would be Antonio Guterres, at its most recent session to resume its meeting upon request from member states. The resolution does not condemn Hamas at all or make any specific references to that extremist terrorist group. Okay, so that is what passed. Now, does that mean Israel has to comply? The answer is no. This is not a legal and binding vote because the Security Council did not approve it. Why? Because the United States vetoed this vote. But they went ahead and voted anyway, and they did get 2/3 majority to do it. This means they can bring it back up and take it back to the Security Council and continue the pressure. And Israel's got to be sitting there understanding that the whole world's against them, except there's 10 nations, and they're one of the 10, and only one of the 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council is standing with them, the United States. If the United States changes their vote later and no longer vetoes, then it would go to the General Assembly for the vote, and you just saw what the vote would be, 153 to 10. Israel is one veto vote away from being mandated by international law and an international body called the United Nations. They could forcibly stop the ceasefire and then start the process of doing a forced 2-state solution, which I'm telling you, folks, is coming. You can't see Israel ever doing it. You can see the world forcing it. And the Bible told us in the scripture, if you go and read the 3rd chapter of the book of Joel, that God said, I will bring all the nations of the world down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. That's in that valley between the Mount of Olives and the walls of Jerusalem, just that little valley that Jesus would walk all the time and pray, and then go back to that valley and back up into the Temple Mount, or into the temple. God said, I'll bring all the world to this spot, and I will plead with them. God himself, the Lord himself, will plead with the nations of the world that are against his people, Israel. He will plead with them because they are his heritage. That's what it says, Israel. And he will plead for them not to part the land. Folks, we are on the brink of one of the biggest prophetic moments in history, and the world don't even know it's happening because everybody is worried about Hunter Biden not showing up to testify. And the timing on these two things, it's always this. When the media makes the biggest story this, you better look and see what the other hand is really doing. Give your life to Jesus Christ. We are in the end times. I'm reporting here from northern Georgia on my way to Sevierville, Tennessee, where we'll be meeting tonight at what's the name of the place, Heidi? Apple Farm?
Apple Farmhouse.
Yeah, the Apple Farmhouse in Sevierville, Tennessee. That's where we'll be tonight at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's 4 p.m. Eastern for a great evening. We had such a great gathering here in Kennesaw, Georgia, here on the outskirts of Atlanta, just on the edge of Marietta, Georgia. What a great time last night, 21 people. And I mean, it was amazing, the love. These folks are so incredible. Something's happening. Revival has begun. And so we're going to jump on the Preacher Man van. We're on our way to Tennessee. Guys, if you want to be a part of something really special, a lot of fun, and fellowship, and pray with each other, and prayer, and take pictures, and laugh, and really hug, and really meet some great folks, this is your moment. Heidi and I would love to spend it with you, along with Pastor Dave and Tanya. This will be amazing. Tonight's at 4 p.m. at the Apple Farm.
Apple Valley Farmhouse.
Apple Valley Farm.
Apple Farmhouse.
Come on, Apple Valley Farmhouse. It's in Sevierville, Tennessee. Go to my. Where can they find the address, Heidi? I'll post it on the. I'll post it on this description of this video when I get it turned off. I'll grab a computer. Okay, well I'll fix it. Come to it. Okay, don't miss it. All right. God bless. Sorry, Heidi. I should have had my notes together. Are you serious?